If you're the type of person who likes to mix eyeshadow or appreciates the versatility, then you know there's nothing better than an iridescent when it comes to eyeshadow. They may not look as impressive in the pan, but once you start actually using them or experimenting with them, then you realize that these are some of the most useful shades in any collection. They have 3 series dedicated to Iridescent Multichromes alone, so I'm going to start with the series 1. These cost around $7.50 and they have a satin finish to them. Starting with Candela. The description says it has a translucent base that reflects gold, lime and turquoise. You can see in the finger swatch it has a bit of a base which can be sheared out once it's swatched, as you can see. And I would say the series 1 is the one that has the most base and the least amount of sparkle. They're more smooth and barely shift, so to me they're great for the inner corner. Now I'm going to use a black base at the bottom to showcase the shift a bit better. And by the way, this base can be any other color and it will still transform the shade on top. And this is a video of Iridescent Multichromes. You can dupe many other shades this way, just changing the base. The formula here is very smooth. You can see that gold easier, same with the green, and the harsh angle is going to be a bit of a teal. Reflectance has a translucent base that reflects turquoise, blue, violet and pink. On the finger swatch, I would call this a green rather than a turquoise. And on the hand swatch, to me it's even more evident that that's a green that goes to a bit of a silvery blue, and the harsh angle it's going to be that magenta pink. Next up it's going to be Umbra. The description says it has a translucent base that reflects blue, indigo, violet and pink. On the finger swatch, I can see that blue is the most prominent out of all. But on the hand swatch, it looks a lot more dimensional, especially with the black base. You can see it's a blue to a purple, and the harsh angle is going to be the pink. Last of the Iridescent Series 1 is going to be Ambient. The description says it has a translucent silver base that reflects pink, peach and lime. And here you can see it on the finger swatch, it does have a bit of a shift from pink to lime. And here's hand swatched over the dark base. You can see the shift is not as impressive as the rest. I think it's one of the most subtle multichromes in here, but you know that says a lot because this one is quite shifty too. I guess muted is the word that I'm looking for, and even then you can see that magenta is very vivid. This is Luxe, which reflects yellow, lime, turquoise and violet. And you can see this is no longer that satin base, these are the Series 2 Iridescent Multichromes. The finish in this is described as luminous and high shine, and you can see already in the swatch how different, how much more punchy this one looks in comparison to the Series 1. This was actually in my very first order from Clionadh, and it was the very first iridescent that I tried from any other brand, so you can see why I'm so enamored with it. It's like I never imagined a shade like this could exist. It's so pretty, punchy, versatile. It's everything I like in an eyeshadow. Even then, let me just say I've never seen the violet in this one, but I can definitely see the yellow, lime and turquoise. Next up, here's Fluorescence, which is described to have turquoise, blue, violet and pink shifts. On the finger swatch, you can see that turquoise very clearly. On the hand swatch, you can see how vibrant all of those colors are. The most obvious shift is going to be that teal, followed by the blue, then the violet, and the harsh angle is going to be that pink. And I forgot to say, Series 2 is more expensive than Series 1. The shadows from Series 1 cost around $7.50, while these ones cost around $14 to $15 US. This is UV. The description says it shifts from indigo to violet to peach. You can see that indigo is the first to show up. UV is not the most impressive. It's not that shifty, it's not so intense, and I honestly wish it was a little bit more intense, because once it loses the first shift you can barely see anything else. But it's the only iridescent of this color that I have, so I do reach for it quite a lot if I'm in the mood for something like this. This is Aura, and the description says it has pink, red, orange, gold and lime shifts. The main shift is going to be that pink, as you can see, and the lime shows up mostly at a harsh angle. On the hand swatch, that orange can be seen very easily. It's going to be the second shift. So yeah, that description is very spot on. You can see the pink, the orange, the yellow, and the green at the harsh angle. By the way, I chose the worst collection to switch to a black background because you can see all the glitter in the back. Moving on to red, the description says it has shifts of red, orange, and gold. And you can barely see anything in the pen, but on the finger, that red is very present, as you can see. And on the hand swatch, you can see the three main shifts very clearly. It goes from a pinky red to a very vivid orange to a more dirty gold. It's so beautiful. And you can just imagine all the shades you could create with different bases. It's so nice. Next up, here's Halo, which is described to have reflex of hot orange, peach, gold, and lime. You can see that orange is very vivid on the finger, and the shifts are very present on the hand. You can see that very vivid orange going to a yellow and the green at the harsh angle. All of these colors are so intense and vibrant, they just remind me of citrus, like lemon and orange and all those juicy fruits. It's a very tropical multichrome for sure. This is Lucidum, and it's one of the newer ones that were added recently. The description says it shifts from a green to aqua to indigo. And yeah, this is one of those that I agree with everything on the description. It goes from green to aqua to indigo. It's so simple yet so pretty. And I do wonder how this would look with a more contrasting base like a pink or something. Would be interesting. And now we're entering the glitter iridescent multichromes, starting with Glimmer. It has a translucent base that reflects blue, indigo, and violet. And as you can see on the finger and on the hand swatch, this formula is a lot flakier than the rest. The shadows in this series are going to have a sparkly finish with a texture that melts into the skin. And I agree with everything in that description, from the shift to the texture of this. Next up, we have Glow, described to have a turquoise, blue, and violet shift. I just wanted to show the level of flakes this has and how long it takes to melt them into the skin, because all the other shades are way easier to work with than this. But also these have a way higher shine than the rest. If you're looking for a smooth shade that is easy to work with, these are not for you. But if you value sparkle and don't mind the flaky formula, then these are right for you. Most of the glitter multichromes cost around $7.50 each, just like the Series 1 Iridescents. There's only a couple shades that cost around $16 each. I don't have them all, but I do have a couple which I'm going to mention later. For now, here's Glisten, which is described to have a violet, pink, orange, and gold shift. You can see all of those flakies in my finger and not much of a shift, and same with the hand swatch. I would say these colors are a bit more muted than the others that we've seen, but it's still a very beautiful shade. It's subtle, it's very sparkly, and it's quite shifty still. This is Gloaming. The description says it has a silvery iridescent base that reflects pink, orange, yellow, and lime. I can see the pink show up right there, and this is one of those that costs $16 each. The most obvious shifts are going to be that pink and that lime green. It says it has gold in there, but I think it skips over too quickly to the lime green. At least in the lights that I have set up, but you can kind of see a gold kind of peek in there. And this shade totally reminds me of watermelon because it's just like a pink with a green. And a very subtle, more bluey green on the side. And now let's end it with a bang. This is Gilding, which has a translucent base that reflects bright gold, silver, green, and turquoise. You can see on the finger how flaky yet reflective this shade is. This shade is also $16. And in the swatch, I can see clearly that gold, that green, and that turquoise. And you can see just how sparkly this is. It just shines up to the guts. It's so freaking nice, beautiful, gorgeous. What else can I say? I just love it. So if you've made it this far, you may have noticed that that shift from gold to lime to aqua has showed up 3 times. This is Gilding, This is Lux, and this is Candela. And as you can see, they do look similar, but their texture is very different, and I hope you can see that difference in here. Now I'm going to rank them just for the hell of it, but just know that I change my mind quite often. So don't hold me to this, please and thank you. First is Gilding, Gloaming, Lux, Glow, Lucidum, Umbra, Glisten, Ray, Halo, UB, Fluorescence, Glimmer, Candela, Ambient, Reflectance, and Umbra. Now I'll just turn my light back on so you can see them swatching their full glory all together. You can see the difference in textures in here, also all of the different shifts. And that'll be all for this video. Let me know if you like it, if it was helpful, and thank you for watching.